What's up guys, it's Sean. Today we're going to check out M Arisa in Sentul. We checked this one before, let's go. Okay, so now we are at Sentul Point, which is the closest commercial area from the project. And I gotta say, it's packed. But from a tenancy point of view, you look into the mix of tenancy point of view as well. There's variety, like you have cafes like Vichiamo, you have Zeus, you will have cafes, local one as well, like Nanyang Kopitiam and things like that. Preschool facilities as well, daycares as well, pet stores like this is Royal Canine, a lot of F&B outlets, and this is somewhat gonna be walking distance away, so let's go try it out. Anyway, this is the main road for the entire Sentul, called Jalan Sentul. And just to pass by this road, right, easily there's like 5 different schools. You will have the convent, SMK and SK. You will have the Tamil school, you will have the Chinese school, then you have the market, then you have the church, then you have a lot of temples. Wow, a lot. That's why during peak periods, if you pick the wrong time to come to Sentul, right, it's actually very congested. But anyway, from that main road, if you U-turn back, there will be this small road that leads to the project itself. And the first thing to be concerned of will be this plot of land here and this plot of land here. Okay, don't know what is going to happen here. Well, just bump into several new neighbors in this project itself. But as we mentioned before, what truly changed the landscape here will be the access to Duke Highway lah. And a lot of people don't know this. It's main Sentul Road, right? If you go all the way, that's Batu Cave already. Very close actually. And this project apparently just VP'd on April. And if you look in the surrounding, a lot of people will comment, first comment, right, definitely, "Ayyo, why so high density," right? But if you look at the town planning point of view, it's not really that bad because surrounding is all the old landed houses within proximity. Only this cluster of land, suddenly when town planners approve or the government authorities approve, too bad lah, right? And now the journey of walking in seems very pleasant. So you will have a very nice landscape buffer away from the road. So from a safety point of view, it's good. Then you will have a pedestrian walkway, and this will be glimpse of the fence. Instead of a barbed wire kind of thing, they use concrete instead, and it's also separated by another layer of landscape. Nice. Then on the other end, because this is now still under that VP situation, a lot of trucks, a lot of deliveries, and the limitation of public roads becomes a problem. Also, you combo that with the parking culture of Malaysians, everywhere can park, right? This is what you get right outside of the project. But in first glance, from a drone point of view, it's rather intimidating. But from a pedestrian point of view, actually okay leh. So one of the worst nightmare for properties is to have only one way in, and this project luckily don't have that issue. So on the other end, this will be the other exit that connects over to the landed houses. The roads initially are very wide. However, because of the surrounding high density projects, right, all the roads becomes a way for people to park cars. You see, the roads are so wide, right? Cars are parked vertically. Walao eh. People don't park like that really because it wastes space. Just look at the whole street altogether. Goodness. Coming up from the lobby, I gotta say, this particular design team has truly figured out the balance between making units affordable versus the experience that you get as a buyer. Because from an outsider point of view, without going into the space, right, it feels intimidating, definitely, again. But when you walk into the entrance itself, the entire journey to your lift lobby, right, it's spectacular. The dressing is not too loud. It's very tastefully done. front, you will have quartz stone, you will have LED lightings, you have a nice glass partition, yet an open panel for ventilation. And there's a very nice waiting lounge, and there's a dedicated pathway to the back end where you have all the supporting elements, right? Wow, wow. Anyway, we are now in the lift lobby of the floor plate. The width is 3 meters, the height is 2.6 meters, and there will be in total 6 lifts per wing that serves 15 units on one side, and because it's connected together, right? So now you will have 6 lifts here, 6 lifts here, servicing 30 units. 12 lifts servicing 30 units in total. And the lobby is very bright because of this opening here, which is nice. The only concern right now will be this empty plot of land here. Okay, how we wish if this is a park lah, right? But I don't think so. Most likely it's going to be in the same direction of development for the address. It's going to be a high rise, just don't know how dense it's going to be. But looking at it, right, that's the KL skyline. Let's zoom in a little bit. You see that's the KL skyline. Then this will be all the old houses. Over there will be Gombak already, and over there will be Mont Kiara Dutamas area already. Coming out from the lift lobby, this will be a fire partition door connected to the corridor space. Okay, and this is the mechanism that I really like. Although they cannot do anything too much to the fire partition door, what they can do is to somewhat attach the door to the magnet. Okay, so it holds it on place until the fire alarm sets off, then it will be released. So this gives a very nice experience to all the user, and I really like that. They treated the flooring the same. There's no difference in level, which is very nice, very kind to the knees and strollers, especially when you move stuff. Then in terms of corridor width, it's about 1.6 meters. Ceiling height is about 2.4. And you have a plaster ceiling all the way through, so you won't see all the pipings and utility elements. This will be the other service lift corridor. Okay, going in. This will be the refuse area, if not mistaken. Okay, so this is the service lift or the bomba lift. Yeah, bilik sampah. Okay, let's go in. So they kind of applied the refuse chute already, and there will be a ventilation panel. So tiles higher than usual, and it's a dual partition system before you reach the corridor, means inside here got its own ventilation panel, got its own refuse chute already. Okay, then you have one door here. You have another door here before you reach a corridor, but you also have another ventilation panel here, just to prevent smell from going into the corridor. Tricky because this is a high density project, that's why there will be a lot of rubbish to be thrown every day. So the chute system makes a lot of sense. In not, kesian je the worker, right, to collect rubbish from every single floor. Ooh. Then outside the unit, this will be the aircon latch. And what I like is the developer being thoughtful enough to add in this rail for safety for the installer. Okay, and this will be the distance to the unit lah, so I think it's still fine, not too near. Anyway, this should be the unit I'm going to check out today. There will be a step up from the corridor, and this width here is about 4 feet 1.2 meters, where you can somewhat just squeeze in a shoe shelf, and you can hear a lot of people doing renovation. And when you buy high density projects like this, one of the concerns to have, it's not a concern, it's just a feature that comes with it, right, will be the handover process that takes a bit longer than usual, because you will have a lot of people all lining up to take keys together, right? And to ensure everybody has a nice briefing or a nice experience, it takes time. So just be informed, okay? Anyway, let's go check out the project. So this will be the unit I'm going to check out today. This is Type C, and the size is 708 square feet. 708. 2 bedroom, 2 bathroom unit. And when we come in from the foyer, straight away you will be welcomed with the kitchen already that's integrated with the dining area. Then you have the living space connected to the balcony. One common bathroom. Then you will have both bedrooms that with equal size and typology. That's interesting. and then you have where both of them can fit in at least a queen size bed. Then one side you will have the facade facing outwards. This one will be facing inwards to the void. You have a ensuite bathroom for the master bedroom, and that's about it. Then the door width clearance is 872 mm, which means this is a 900 mm with 2.4 meters tall. Very nice, especially when we come in through the unit, the height is good. So conventionally, if you want to save cost, right, I will just put in a 2.1 meters door. Okay, straight away you will have the kitchen tucked at the side, connected to a window here that's connected to the void. Very nice. This will be the dining, living, balcony. So the entire length from this fridge over to the backsplash is about 3 meters long, and this is about 1.5 meters wide. Okay, so here you will have a hood and hob system by Rubin. So I'm not too sure whether it is provided by the developer. It looks like it lah, right? Wow, if provided along, it must be so good, right? So you will have half-L washer and dryer because there's no yard here, so it's integrated along with the kitchen. This is half-L fridge, top and bottom cabinet, and it's set along to the drop within the ceiling. So this is where you can have all the utility components flowing through them, especially the aircon pipings and things like that. Very nicely positioned. You have a window here that's facing the void. Okay, so it faces outside. So how they save build up is because usually this will connect to a yard space further, right? And with the yard space, it's also connected to the bathroom. But when they just eliminated that out, suddenly the entire topology changed a little bit. I guess it's still fine. Because the wall-to-wall width here is 2.86 meters, accommodated by the ceiling height, this is 2.82 meters. Okay, it's somewhat like a square. If you think about it, at this price range of 420,000 when they bought this last time, if you walk around the city, if you're familiar with the location, actually the deal is kind of attractive lah. And the ongoing rental rates for a fully furnished unit is about 1,008 to 2,002, depends on which orientation. But this one, for this particular unit, is awesome. Look at that view. But the Sky Awani 5 actually took place, but look at it. The skyline view of KL City leh. Wow. Anyway, let's go check out the balcony. So this will be the wall, and balcony connection will be like that. So the length is about 3.1 meters for the balcony, and the width is about 986 mm. Steel handrail, because to justify the cost. Here you have the 300 by 300 mm tiles, again for cost efficiency. But this view here, wow. Okay, so that will be Sentul Point already, where the commercial area is just now. Then you can see Paprika area, Monkera area, that will be Jalan Ipoh area, that will be KL already, that will be Gombak. You can see Kensington Plaza, then you can see Trader Square as well. And everything here seems to be different now due to the new highways that are being introduced. So highways is always the main thing that connects or ignites a particular location. Again, we need to highlight this empty land here. 100% is going to be a developed land, just don't know what's the composition just yet. And this is Vox, a project that we have recently checked out also. But then when you look into the surrounding, it's still very low density. To a certain level, it's still kampong setting because the roads are not your usual KR level kind of roads. It's still the very local road setting. Then for window, there is a level of tin. Very nice. And just to check the sound, whoa, very good. Also, we have checked out the adjacent project before this, which is M Centura, right? So when M Centura did very well, they quickly followed up with the launch of M Arisa. And the common problem or highlight among the residents is the cannibalism of product and the cannibalism of views that you get within the product. So whether is it right or wrong, highly dependent on the person who sold you the project. Means if they can guarantee you a KLCC view like this one, here literally we can see KLCC. Betul, you are right. But how long? No one can promise you how long. So when you get the unit, yes, until the next adjacent project. So that's one point to note. The other one will be the crazy amount of density in first glance. If you just pass by this road, you have Sentul Point, you will have Vox, you will have M Centura, M Arisa, more other projects along this main road, right? It feels like, wow, the entire Sentul now over dense lah, too high population already. Until if you look into the surrounding, it's still kampung setting. You get what I mean? So from a density point of view for this project, let's look into the numbers. So in total, there will be 1,500 units then on a freehold land. So 1,500 units, if you look into the typology against M Centura, they kind of use the facility deck as the buffer to maximize the distance between towers already. Okay, so that's done the best that they could. But what I really admire is this. The KPI is to be able to sell a project of such quality at a 300 to 500,000 price range. That's a challenge. At the same time, yet having a facilities that is overwhelmingly good for products within this price range. So throughout the entire journey of developments, like we have seen so many products of this developer, right? That's an evolution of product typology, and I must say this is a very sweet spot. So if you look just from a drone shot itself, it's just one slab of building. But when you pass by the pedestrian walkway, when you pass by the guardhouse into the drop off into the lift lobby, the experience can anytime beat any low density projects actually. And because of such high density, just by paying slight premium on it, right, it enables the facilities to be at a different level. Then when you look into lift, right, there's 6 lift for 18 units and 6 lift for the remaining 12 units. So a floor plate, you got so many lifts imbalanced to so many units in one floor plate. So when everybody wants property price to be within the affordability range, right, no other way but to increase the number of units. That's the only way it could bring down the selling price. But high density project need not to be lacking in terms of facilities and living comfort and quality. Those can be resolved by proper design measurements, and in this project, in my opinion, after walking through so far, right, very decent. However, that is only limited if you only look into the project itself. Meaning if one block sahaja, it's fine. But when this particular project do really well in sales, then it kind of alerts other players to all flock into this same location and build equal. And at time living quality and infrastructure might not cope with the amount of traffic and population already. Yeah, that one I agree. So for flooring, they are providing 600 by 600 mm tiles. Then here you will have a box up, also a ceiling drop. Here it will be about 2.27 meters only. So here it will feel somewhat shorter, but I like this particular nook here. So here you can easily just box it out, or you can just put the IKEA rack, right, for extra storage space. Because this is pretty tight already. This will be the common bathroom. Okay, so here you have full height wall tiles, then you have Sorrento basin and WC, no shower screen that will be connected to the void, and this is actually frosted. Okay, in terms of switch height, very nice. It's about 1.2, 1.3 meters. It's provided by Legrand. Okay, going in, there will be a manhole provided for the ceiling panel for maintenance purposes. This is the first bedroom that we're going to check out. The size of the bedroom is 2.8 by 3.2 meters. So here you can perfectly fit in a queen size bed if you want to, with a wardrobe corner. Then if you want to put in a study table, then that one a bit tight already lah. Okay, anyway, this will be the window panel and it's tinted for privacy reasons. You can open it this way. I gotta say, the aluminium part of the window is solid. This will be the view out from the window itself. Nice. For flooring, it will be laminated timber floor in this color. It comes with the skirtings as well. So in terms of plug points, only one. Ultimately, only one to save cost. Going opposite, this will be the master bedroom, and similar approach. Here you will have the nook. And the size of the room, it's slightly bigger, so the length is the same, 2.8, but the width 600 mm more. This is 3.8 meters. So after you put in the wardrobe, here you have the laminated timber floor. You have the queen size bed, bedside tables, and this will be the window panel. So this is where you get the good lighting, natural lighting sense. You get this view, which is awesome. I think this is the best view already. Hopefully the building of the next block only just reach here lah. You still get the KLCC skyline here. And this will be the road that connects over to Duke Highway, which will ignite the entire location further. Moving on, this is a very peculiar location for the toilet actually, because this is a 2-bedroom setting which usually developers don't really want to build because it's in between studio units and 3 bedrooms. But with modern lifestyle and modern needs of the current population, right, a 2-bedroom becomes like a luxury version of a studio. So now when a lot of people actually work from home, you have one extra room for work office or a home office. It becomes very sensible, and at this price range, if you work from home, you stay around here, makes a lot of sense. Then here you will have a different typology of tiles. This one tiles a little bit more atas, more patterns to it. Very nice, full height wall tiles, right, with a shower system. No shower screen, and you have Sorrento for your WC and basin. There's a huge window here, and with the glossy setting of the tiles, it makes this toilet atas. Yeah, you can see drastic difference between this and the common bathroom outside. Nice! And I guess that's all for the unit. It's now time for the facilities. Let's go. We are now in the Rooftop Sky Garden, which is located in between 2 blocks together. I gotta say, this is wonderful. The space is not as large or wide, but in terms of landscape treatment, in terms of facilities, furniture, material treatments and specification, right? Like this is the halal barbecue area, so you can see how they put the trays and things like that. This is the basin for you to wash your things. Very thoughtful in terms of size and material for ease of maintenance. Then for ease of maintenance, everything is also pebble washed, furnished or applied. I don't know how you use it. Then you have the furniture, and the forms selected are all organic formed, which kind of breaks the linear pattern a little bit. Here you will have a structure to hold the creepers, so sooner or later all this will grow upward and it will look amazing. Okay, in the center then this will be the washroom, and for him or for her all space like that as well. You have the basin located in the center. Then around the fringe they are all densely packed with the hedges, so kids won't go too near. Right, then you have the extra handrail at 1.5 meters. In terms of safety, it's thought through. Then for the void connected throughout the entire tower is also covered with glass, and this one then allows ventilation, so smoke come out also, it can flow through. Good, because you resolve water, you resolve a lot of problems. Then coming over to the other side, you have the same one, but this one is the non-halal one, and you have equal amount of chairs and furnitures, and this will be the view that you get here. Too bad it's hazy today, KL weather serious. But now you can see that's the KL skyline. I think at night it will look pretty good. But of course, ultimately the argument is you have 1,500 people that's going to use this space. So let's say if 1% come and use, right, it's 15 people also packed already. Ultimately that's the argument lah. Okay, now we are in the facility floor, and this is one of the signature when you come in. This sky garden layered landscape concept, accompanied by the brown columns that is also practical in structural support. Nicely. First of all, this will be the co-working space, and already people are using it. Awesome. You can see the entire ID designed as a co-working space, not just a label on the door. Very nice. So from the tiled flooring coming in, this will be somewhat like the pavers design within the facility floor, and this will be the small water body stream that flows across the facility deck. This is nice. This just breaks through the entire linear configuration of the entire site. Wow, and the colors from the pavers actually add spice to the entire space. This somewhat reminds me of the lazy river concept that we find in Sunway Serene in PJ, right? But with treatments like this, it justifies the premium for garden unit, you look at it, right? Like if you look out from your unit, it's a water body like that, and it's accompanied by the landscape treatments and the water body. Hey, a little bit extra also justified ma. But as I always discuss, the true value is when you have one floor above the facility deck, then you have landscape and trees maintained by everybody, yet enjoyed by you from your balcony. Bagus. So just to have more context again, right? A unit that we just visited just now, the 2-bedroom, is about 420,000 during launch. But when you come to the facility, then everything seems to be justified. So now you can see so much colors and playful forms around the facility that you have a jungle gym here. But this is a children playground lah. But you can see the entire set here is amazing. You have the rubber floorings as usual, accompanied with sitting areas that is applied with pebble wash throughout the entire space. Again, at the fringe for safety, since this is a children's play area, they dressed up everything. Look at it. Even the roof itself, you look into the organic shape of the roof. Easily I could have just leave this empty, cement screeded, right? They also take pride in dressing this up entirely with landscape. Nice! Because anyway, this roofing actually covers the community hall here, the multi-purpose hall, which separates the entire facility into two. And the internal part of the community hall looks like that lah. So you have the timber-like tiles. Okay, also when you open everything up, because it's all glassed up, it's going to have a semi-outdoor experience when you're inside. On the other side, then we continue having landscape island to break the entire form of the facility deck. So you have this stone structure. There's a small slide, and this will be the kids' wading pool already. Okay, then there will be sitting areas around it for supervision purposes. Yoga deck here, and this is the closest distance between towers already. So this is M Centura, this is M Arisa. From afar, this looks scary. Everybody will have overlooking concern, but now by looking at it, it seems fine. Of course, it needs to be read along with the price and the location okay, but amazing lah. This is very nice. Just want to shout out to the landscape architect, right? Because this reminds me of their approach in Centura, but just one level higher. Like the form of the structures around the facility deck is just unconventional in a very good way. It breaks the static form tremendously. So the entire experience going in, you really slow down and you just browse spaces at your own pace. Then you have structural designs like this. Again, is so mesmerizing and iconic. And just by this view alone, you cannot really tell the price range of the property one. And that is where this particular team found that balance, which is so hard to do. So we are now under the UFO structure in the center, and I think it's a gym lah. This is amazing lah. Right? The more I walk around the space, the more I am surprised and mesmerized by what they can do within this price range. Wow! But one thing lah, because of the building typology now, the noise actually elevates further lah. So if you're on a higher floor, I think it's going to get worse. Yeah, but you just look into the landscape. So from the facility floor, this will be the neighbors. Okay, so can I look through them a little bit lah? But it's just kind of sad if you bought that unit particularly, then you kind of expect KLCC view forever lah. Then too bad lor. In that case, seriously too bad lah. But now I'm trying to avoid trees just to pass by. Wow! Then you have recycle bins around, you will have CCTV monitors, and for this particular design, you have more colors within the landscape treatments. Like you have purple flowers, you will have this yellow kind of trees, right? Bagus sekali, bagus. And you just imagine the garden unit treatments, right? The privacy is sufficient, it gives you enough distance to justify the premium that you're about to pay also. Coming one level up above the facility deck, we are now in the games room. This will be a ping pong space. Wow! Isn't this the most decorated ping pong space ever? Well, there's some issue with the length. I think the right position should be like that. But it depends on your level of ping pong lah. Okay? This one then will be the football table and the darts, pool, and there's a karaoke room. Very nice. The design treatment is pretty similar to the co-working space downstairs. In fact, it's going to be the same space allocation. Okay, so they also maximize the usage of the structural system to partition the space altogether. Where it's clever in my point of view, from a structural point of view, they only allocate the residents to stack all together on both sides. In the center portion, it will be all experiential centers. It will be like all the facility, like the sky garden, the common areas, facility deck like this. You also have allocation for those in need. Very nice. And this will be the very curvy circulation pathway into the UFO structure. That's the gym, by the way. Okay, the gym reminds me a lot of M Vertica's gym. The entire gym is equipped with equipments from Techno Gym, one of the highest range product within the industry. Okay, then LED lighting, number of equipment sufficient, and you have day lighting all across the space because it's an individual standalone building. And besides that, the view that you get. So I always like when you have a different level within the facility deck, it increases the entire dynamic range of experience that you get for the space is different. Like this one, when you are standing there, the view that you get and the experience that you get is different when you stand on top here. And the same, when you look upwards and you look downwards, right, it adds excitement to the space. Just like simple views like this, right, a simple line like this with a structure like that, lines like this interact with the straight line, suddenly it becomes like a very interesting dialogue. Okay, too much architectural sense, but you get it, right? So from the lift lobby coming out, this will be the car park. Okay, so the car park highest level, I think is level 8, and the unit goes all the way to ground floor. So there will be very interesting typology where this is your car park, right? And there will be a common access to the floor that you stay. So if you are in level 4, for example, your car park can be at level 4 and you can just straight away, one fire door away, you can straight away go back home. It's still not your landed kind of typology, but at least you don't have to go through the lift. So that will be the shear walls connecting over to the residential side. That's why the structural system is like that. This is only for the facility floor and the car park structure, so it's lighter in weight, therefore the structural arrangements are like that. Okay, so this is the flat slab system. Column size are also smaller, very tidy from a utility point of view. Cement screeding, epoxy paint for pedestrian walkways, and they use the speed ramp. Wow, so it means from one ramp you get to go through 2 floors. So if you want to go to level 8, you just merely need to go through 3 to 4 ramps. 2, 4, 6, 8, yeah, 4 ramps. This saves a lot of time. Wonderful. But I'm not too sure about the number of car parks that you get. So I think the bigger your unit, the more car parks you get, or in a separate arrangement. There are some in tandem, some side by side. And on the ground floor also, we have units up to the ground floor, right? Well, on level 1, so on the ground floor is all your mail room, your lobby, your lounge and things like that. So everything starts from level 1. And there will be a herbs garden at the side of the land connected to the landed home area. So I think that's about it. It's now time for Sean's take 3 on 3. The very first thing, definitely that perfect balance point between price, experience, value and location connectivity. Yeah, at 3 to 500,000, right? A product like this with a design like this, pretty hard to beat. Well, that one also you got a bad point, but we'll talk about that later. The second point that I like will be the design treatment, and this feels very genuine from a product point of view. Like when we look into, like, okay, first of all, the landscape to go into the project, the walkway, instead of fences like this, which is way easier to build, they build like a concrete wall for better privacy. You go through the welcome statement of the elevated sky garden structure that connects to the facility deck, which is my favorite. But to enable the facility deck to be so free form, ultimately the basic structure system is revised, which means the 2 residential towers are stacked all the way from roof to ground zero. So you have no transfer or whatsoever. That increase the efficiency of structural system. Then you connect that with the elevated car park behind, which serves as the platform for the facility deck. In the center space between two structures, that will be the expressions of spaces where you have the sky garden, the roof garden, and the facility floor. Because of the lack of commitment to any structural system, you can go free flow without disrupting anything. Hence you get a facility deck that is so amazing looking, superbly smart. And when you have that connecting structure between two towers, right, it decreases the need of space between towers. If they are separated, you need more space actually. Job well done. Further into the unit, we visited a 2-bedroom unit, right? So instead of that usual typology of having the bathroom facing the internal, they kind of played around by locating the toilet outside, which is having the facade view. That's unconventional, but because of that, you have a very tidy grid line to be tied to the entire structure. Okay, then you have the lift lobby, 6 lifts in total, servicing 15 to 18 units depending on how you calculate on which level. Then the width of the lift lobby, the width of the corridor, fire doors of the partition from the lift lobby to the corridor also tied with the magnetic lock. Then when you go into the unit itself, no units are facing each other directly. And I just really like to the very detailed spaces, like the pedestrian walkway into the lobby, right? That's a very small narrow space only. They also covered it very nice. You go into the unit, like the aircon latch. Technically, nobody does it but them. They even add in the handrail to kind of serve as a safety guard for installers of aircon. Yeah, awesome. Last of all will be that tremendous speed of improvement by the design team. So in order to formulate this thesis, right, like I have made a conscious decision to review almost all of their projects of different era. Like we have visited M Centura before already, and we just look at it, right, we still remember the badminton court that's tremendously good. But you just think about it, one building after another, they keep what works, they discard what doesn't. And as a result, right, that continuous improvement on their product really shows within the value that you get as a buyer. So when you look into M Vertica, you look into this, all these are the similar products of similar era. Their approach are pretty much the same. But for this series itself, I really do feel the pride of the developer through their execution itself. Awesome. Okay, so for the 3 things I don't like, number 1, of course, the density. So density here needs to be read in different contexts as we explained just now. From the unit itself is 1,500 units for the entire project. But if you look into lift allocation and all, I think it's fine. But then if you look into side-by-side high density projects by the same developer, also from neighboring development, it's crazy again. But you look into the actual context of Sentul, this project is surrounded by all the kampong landed house setting, so it's still fine. Then you look into Sentul as a location, now it's crazy dense. But that depends then on the planning of our town planners within the KL structure plan. Yeah, so that leads to the second point, the uncertainty of the views that you get. So here, right, easily for the land in front of the project, it's going to be another high-rise project. All empty lands here, most likely going to be another condo or high-rise because of the demand and the strategic location that you get. So from a traffic point of view, from a congestion point of view, definitely it will happen too bad. But luckily now you kind of have the Duke Highway as a complement, so it's rather easy, or if not, you have an alternative to come in and out from the location. Oh, these are getting noisy already. Yeah, hence my point, right? Third point will be the infrastructure of the location that will not be able to cope with the expansion of population. So you just look at it, right? Here we have 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks, 5, 6, 7 blocks, and along this road itself you will have 7 different schools all together. So from a maturity point of view, it's good. Amenities completion point of view is awesome. Like you look into the tenancy for retail shops here, it's very high. All double power, no car park inside one. Yeah, because you have the number of population to support them. But then you don't get equal amount of serenity and privacy and things like that, lor. Yeah, so it's very hard to have both of these things coexist together unless the price is going to be very, very high, lah. That's a trade-off, unfortunately. But to me, do I like this project? Yes. And I've met like 3 or 4 neighbors all together already. Everybody praised the design aspect, especially the facility floors and a common area. Unfortunately, what they don't like, it will be the common setback where the time to VP takes a while. It takes a long while before it reaches your turn to receive the keys. Yeah, because you need to wait for 1,500 people. But kudos, I really like it. I really like the project. And if you really like this episode, like it, share it, and even subscribe for more information like this. Until next time, this is Sean Tan. Ciao.